Hello, friends. This is Parag Mhetre, your host on Stay Strong podcast. Thank you very much for joining this podcast every week. I always want to share a very important information and an important message via this podcast to the kettlebell lifters in India, the women who are above 45, because it's my mission to interview 50 top women who are lifting kettlebells who are above 45. Well, earlier the barrier was 50, but I've come down to 45 now, and to inspire women above 40 to lift kettlebells. We have a very important guest, a very close friend, a student of mine, Asawari Patankar, who hails from Pune. Her background is she was into finance. So she was working with a private company, private bank in Pune for 20 plus years with a huge corporate background and a very poor lifestyle. She was detected with asthma at the age of 18 and she carried forward that for a few years. Before 5 years, when she decided to embark the journey on wellness industry, so she quit her job and she started her wellness company called Evolve Fit, and she is now training women to lose weight. And she is also motivating herself to get into kettlebells and kettlebell sport. It's my promise always to bring you the best content in the field of kettlebells, kettlebell sport, and strength and conditioning. And her journey is basically very inspiring. This podcast, this information is definitely going to help you to understand how she has beat asthma. So, what kind of precautions she have taken, until what level she had went when she actually was facing this asthmatic problems, and when she was getting asthma attack, and she overcome all these challenges and started lifting kettlebells. She had played two national competitions. She has got gold medal for her state. She also had played WKSF Asian competition with 16 kilos. That was her first experience. And now she is lifting double 12s. She is lifting 16. She's preparing for marathon. And slowly, she is climbing up the ladder of success. Please help me welcome Asawari Patankar from Pune. Hello, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Stay Strong podcast. Thank you very much for looking up to this podcast every week. We have a very close friend and entrepreneur today to our guest. She is Asawari Patankar from Pune. Over to you, Asawari. Please give your fitness and professional background.
Yeah, thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to say that I am a student with Parag sir for the past 2 years now, and I'm enjoying my journey with him with kettlebell. So I'll just introduce myself. I have just lost 45 years of my journey in this world, and I feel super strong in today's life. But this was not the way I have nurtured myself 45 years back. I have been a severe asthmatic since age 18. So that was during my college days. Initially, I got stuck up with an illness which was called asthma, and that caused a lot of issues within me. First and foremost thing is I was fearful about fitness. Anything which was related to exercising, anything which was related to personal training, anything which was related to sports was never my cup of tea, and that was the mindset with which I started my journey when I was 18 years young. After that, I graduated. I completed my education in finance, and I had a very successful banking career for almost 20 plus years. I was heading India's top private bank in Pune, and there were heavy responsibilities with me at the career level also. But as I started my career and as I moved ahead in my life's journey, I had two daughters, I had a wonderful family, and balancing between my career and my fitness life was something which I was extremely struggling with. So I was being treated by my doctors for almost 19 to 20 years for this critical disease called asthma, and it started taking a heavy toll on my body, on my fitness levels. And there came a time when the doctor suggested that there will be very few years left in your life if you continue with this kind of heavy medications which she has been giving me, and they were heavy steroids. So already they were taking a lot of toll on my lung capacity, on my body. And she gave me a lot of examples of people who were getting into fitness and maintaining their asthma levels to a better extent. So that gave me some surge, because I thought that I can be replaced in my career anytime by just one interview taken by somebody else. But I cannot be replaced as a mother in the life of my children. And that was my strongest why to get into fitness. So I really tried many things to improve my fitness levels, but most of the things did not work because I did not work for those uh, plans. And
Okay.
that's the reason a coach is absolutely very important in life, who shows you the path, who leads you by that life, and then he takes you hand held with your himself towards this journey. So I found an excellent coach who helped me to first of all understand the importance of fitness in life. They helped me to understand how weight loss would help me. First and foremost thing is to improve my lung capacity. What were the parameters in which nutrition plays a very important role in my daily habits, in my daily eating habits, and then a lifestyle change, which I had completely lost in my corporate life, with lots of stress, lots of targets, and lots of unreasonable things happening around. That was something which took a toll on my life. So I changed my lifestyle completely. I started eating right. I focused on many parameters. But believe me, sir, I could not focus on exercise because it was a mindset. It was a stuck up mindset for almost 20 plus years, that for asthma patient, exercise was not a cup of tea. So the first year went by just on focusing on eating habits and nurturing on nutrition, but no focus on exercise because it was a fearful mindset. And that is where everything started in year one, 5 years back for me.
Okay. So you say that you started your actual career with finance, and then you kind of switch your gears to come into the wellness industry. That is what you wanted to say. Okay. Now, that's quite interesting to know that you had taken a very hard toll when it comes to asthma, because you mentioned that you started you got detected with asthma at the age of 18, so which was very young age actually. So did you had some family background with asthma? Like, how did you deal with this? Because many times what happens, 18 is very young age, and our family members are there to guide us, to support us, but to be very honest, they are really not aware of what is going inside you. So how did you take care of all those things? Did your family members support? Did you really took some other kind of a coaching training, like for example how to deal with asthma, etc.? Because it's a long journey. You're 45 now, so if you can just throw a little highlight on that.
Yeah, basically, there was no background about asthma.
Okay.
It just triggered maybe due to some stress levels in the college life or something or the other. I cannot find any reason for it. But
Okay.
as and how I could look back, and today when I'm understanding the importance of fitness, I've studied nutrition as a science also. I understand that basically my lifestyle or the eating habits and the entire system was going wrong in my journey itself. So while you are in school, you have better habits because you are in the shelter of your parents. They keep a watch on you and you follow a proper routine for yourself. As you go to higher studies, you are alone in hostels or other places, and that is where you get into a different kind of routine yourself and absolutely lose control on the daily habits which you were nurtured during your childhood. And maybe I feel that was the reason, because I used to eat out a lot. um, I used to sleep very less. I used to um, compromise a lot during my studies because I was graduating for cost accountancy as well as MBA in finance. So many things in academics were going around me at the very same time, and I was alone at a hostel level to compete with all these things. So maybe that took a toll on my health during that time. And as I went into my journey for career, where I joined the banking industry in private banks, I seriously focused a lot on my career growth also. And that is where again I left on my lifestyle routine as well. So less of sleep, wrong eating habits, not eating on time, zero focus completely on nutritive habits, what I had earlier. and that may be the reason that I preferred medications more than eating food in my daily routine. So it just kept happening that I used to eat less food but have more of inhalers and the nebulizers, or I felt that it was easy to manage the medicine faster because it used to give me some sound relief for a temporary period of time. But that is how I nurtured myself for more than 15 to 18 years in my career level.
Okay. Interesting. So it's quite a tough journey for me also, because even I'm trying to understand a lot of things for the first time. And these insightful podcast and information will definitely help people suffering similar problems. They will understand that the pain might be temporary, but if you actually take the correct route, even problem like asthma can get solved, or it can basically get a little alleviated as you progress with weight training, or maybe if you progress with the exercise. Now, coming to the exercise part, I would like to know, when did you started lifting weights? That is actually lifting weights, not doing exercise like bodyweight or any calisthenics. But we say that women are less aware to lift weights, although it helps them a lot as compared to men, even going to a certain extent. So when actually did you started lifting the weight, and when you started lifting the weight, how did it help you in curing the asthma, or maybe rather curing your any problems if you had related with the asthma?
So I'll tell you both my experiences. First is about the fearful and sad experiences also, and second is how I started enjoying lifting weights 2 years back. So first and foremost thing is when I was told my doctor to lose weight to the extent of almost 10 to 15 kgs of weight, because I had gained enormous weight because of the steroids. I had touched almost 100 kgs of weight for my body parameters, and that was something which was excessive fat in my body to the extent of 50% of my body getting to a level of holding fat levels, and that deteriorated my muscle content as well. I was not knowing anything about body composition at that time, and that was where if every layman or every person who is a normal person like me feels that since I'm not exercising, I need to join some gym.
Sure.
So the first and foremost thing I did was I went to a nearby gym and I took a yearly membership of that gym. Now, going to that gym was very exciting for me because I thought I will beat my fear factor first. But on first day when I went on the treadmill, it was absolutely difficult for me to just walk on that treadmill at the pace of 3 or 3.5. Then the next day I was doing some body weight squats, and it effectively turned out to become a ligament injury for me because of the weight I was holding on my body itself. And that gave me a toll that for 3 months again I could not even climb the stairs because of that injury. I was just told to rest, do some physiotherapy, and then come back on walking terms for the next 6 to 7 months. So again, that elevated the fear level in my mind that exercise is never my cup of tea and I will never be able to do exercising again. So I just gave up the thought of exercising, and I thought I can come back on only eating right parameters, and that is how I initially lost a few kgs, like almost 24 kgs of my body weight, just by focusing on eating and just staying active by doing say almost 1 hour of walk every single day. So that was my starting journey of walking first. After I shed away some weight and I started learning and enjoying the fact that yes, this can happen with me, I can turn around some things, because after losing weight, I started feeling a better change in my medication levels, which went down. The doctor told me that I'm doing great and I can still improve better. And then I took up things very seriously. So from walking, it went on to walk and jog. From then there, I started jogging continuously for almost 3 kilometers. Then it took to 5 kilometers. I started enjoying that jog because it gave me a spirit that yes, I am working hard and I can do certain things. And there was an accomplishment, happiness, which I used to get every time I would run, and I practiced it. The next year, after doing this for 1 year, I actually completed non-stop 5 kilometer run in 45 minutes. and that elevated my spirits. So from the last year to this year, if you see in 1 year's time, I could, from walking, I could progress to running. That gave me the first happiness that yes, I can do some things for myself. So that year I took running absolutely very seriously, and from 5 kilometers I marched to 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers, and then I did my first half marathon that year. And that gave me absolute confidence that I can beat up so many things in my own mindset, and I can do some things better for improving my lung capacity. And I actually won so many things against my own odds. So that gave me 100% confidence. My doctor was assuring me that the medication was going to minimal, and from that year onwards, actually I have not struggled any time for any asthma attacks, and I have been on zero medications for the past 4 years on asthma.
Okay. So, wow, it's a great journey. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to know a little the key things between the lines which you mentioned, that what exactly did it trigger? Like, I want to understand that was it a any kind of a bad experience you had with asthma, or did you read something somewhere that, say for example, we are going through this work environment, and then we sometimes see something on the television, or maybe some friends say, oh yeah, that guy had an asthma, he had an asthma heart attack, or something sort of like that. So what did it trigger that you understood that this is that's it? I mean, I am now want to I just want to get up in the morning and walk, because you are putting up so much weight. You know that you are actually there are a lot of things which are actually damaging your health is getting deteriorated in all this lifestyle, whatever you had working for maybe 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. What triggered uh, do you have any bad experience, or was it just a okay, that's it, I'm just giving up of everything now, I just want to start running? Because kettlebells were not still there, I mean, till that point.
So actually, when you go through an asthma attack, it is like a fear of death. The
Okay.
person who goes through an attack is almost in a situation he does not understand for almost 5 to 15 minutes till he gets on nebulization or on the inhalers. Whether whatever is happening around him is not understood by that person. And for me, my family was more into a shocking position whenever I used to go through those attacks. And the trigger point for me was that my daughters were more afraid than me of me getting those attacks, and I did not want them to live this life with so much of uh, difficulties around them. They were always fearing that anytime my mom could get this attack and she would die. So this, I wanted to reverse this situation anyhow. And this confidence I got through the weight loss journey, this confidence I got through those runs I started doing. I started passionately pursuing things which I remembered I had done it during my childhood days. Like I had very difficult times in swimming also, because I had a fear of choking when I used to go in water. But the next year, I started thinking that I will defeat this because I have to train my daughter to swim also. And I took up swimming, and I could non-stop swim for more than 1.5 hours. So that gave me more confidence. And then there was a time when I felt that I have crossed 40 years of age. And this is a time when I felt something or the other I can do challenging, which is crossing these borders also. Like I can walk, I can jog, I can do body weight training now. I can focus good on my breathing and my pace on running as well. And I was very happy with that. But again, I had those memories of weightlifting through the gym instructors, or through those injuries which I went through. And then I was again scared कि जो चल रहा है, whatever is right now working for me may stop if I again get into that injury, and I don't want to get into those injuries at all. But that is where I remember we had attended your workshop in the year 2019. And when we attended that workshop for 2 days, I could understand how the movement of kettlebell can help me in muscle building. Till then, I was never into thinking that I have to build some strength, I have to build some muscle, and whether the strength training is also going to help me to improve my cardio capacity. I used to feel that it these kinds of training were only for men to boost their muscle or to show their biceps or to make them look stronger. And this is not something which is absolutely for normal women. It is maybe for women who are into athletics only. So when I went for your workshop, I understood the basics of this particular training of kettlebell and how it could affect me. But I'll tell you, sir, being with that mindset, it took me almost 6 months to make up my mind whether I should start up the training. And by the time we started the training in 2021, we had this COVID thing stuck up, So again, when we started the training in January 2021 with you, it took me a few days to actually understand the technique behind this particular weightlifting, how this is going to help me, how I can relate to the changes in my lung capacity, or am I able to train myself for more than 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, or for 30 minutes also. And this journey was basically moving my fear away about the weightlifting and changing my mindset towards I cannot do it, from I cannot do it to yes, I can do it. And that took me almost 3 months to get into that mindset that yes, I can do this. And that is where I started enjoying this sport completely. And that's how I am continuing with this sport without any fear to it.
Yeah, at times in such situation we are influenced by our thoughts, and as you all know that we produce more than 80-90% thoughts are negative thoughts, and most of these thoughts are identical in the past days, past week. And if you really want to get rid of these thoughts and have a positive mindset to really lift weights with such kind of problems, then it takes little time. And I guess I would say that you have come up really fast when it comes to kettlebells, because I've been training so many years and I see many women give up. I mean, they just give up, even they do not have any problem, because lifting weights becomes very challenging for them. But you are having so much of problems and still you are lifting weights and doing really well. So it's really like a kind of hats off to you, because you have a very good support from your husband, and you yourself are now very much motivated to motivate others so that others can basically follow your path. So it's really nice. Now, this is a pure kettlebell training question, which I would like to know as a trained athlete for a couple of years, and you have done well. You have played WKSF Asian competitions. So likewise, if you'll see kettlebells, you are at amateur level lifting 16 kilos. Now, when you have asthma, you're still lifting, and kettlebells is an endurance tool. So it's an endurance sport. What challenge do you feel when you're lifting kettlebells for 5-10 minutes, or even I guess you have done 30-minute marathon also? So when you're lifting kettlebells for a longer period of time, what challenge is there? And if you are lifting for a shorter period of time, like a sprint event, kind of like a 10-minute, 5-minute, what challenge do you feel? So maybe if you can just throw a little highlight on it.
So first and foremost thing is for a small sprint event, it is the number of reps, and I feel that strength is more important in that case in terms of the weight I'm lifting against for my body weight also. So in shorter durations, I find it more easy because I can lift heavier weights, but I can complete the 5 or 10-minute marathon with a better ratio of the repetitions also. But maybe it is because of the background which I have gone through for a longer period of time of heavy medication. The 30-minute window is a bit challenge still for me. With the lower weight content of 8 kg or 12 kg, it becomes very easy for me. But lifting weight for 16 kgs or heavier weight, like now I'm training for 212 kg weights also, which comes to 24 kg. I'm still able to do it for smaller durations, but for higher durations, I still have to build my cardio capacity more. But I believe that what was happening yesterday is not happening today, and tomorrow is going to be much better for me because of the consistency, because of the continuous training which I am going through, and maybe because of the mindset first that yes, I want to do this and I can do better tomorrow.
Okay. when you're lifting weights, this is for me also to understand clearly that when you're lifting weights, there is two problems you might face. One is the cardio capacity, that is, we go out of breath. Second is your mind says, man, let's do it next time. So, but there is, if you see, mind and heart coherence is there always when you're lifting, and if both are strong, you produce a very good results. Now, in your case, you've been having such a background of asthma, although you are mentally strong women. What challenge do you feel between both the two? Like, do you want to really give up mentally, or does your heart burns? Oh, my heart rate is very high and I want to keep it down. Although I was ready, but my heart is not supporting at this stage.
So at this stage, I feel it is more mentally only, because
Achha.
I feel that for the past 5 years, whatever I have gone through, the heart is still there helping me, and the heart is still going to be more stronger and supporting me with whatever activities I'm doing. So it's I have to train my mind that yes, I can continue doing this. Yes, I can do better than what I'm doing today, and if I can change things for the past 5 years, I can change things for the next 5 years as well.
100%. Yeah. Super good. Great. Wow. Now, as you said that you are into wellness industry, and you are also taking training of other women or other men who basically have obesity related issue, or maybe something related to that. So at times you must have seen also women about 40, 45 having similar problems. So how do you deal with these women, sir? Do you really train them? Do you give your example to them? What kind of training program do you, or what kind of mindset change do you make for such people who come across such kind of problems? Maybe a quick highlight on that.
Uh, so specific for India, I would say that it's a mental challenge for women, because most of the times they are involved more in mindset issues related to their home, related to their children, related to giving less importance to themselves first. So most of the time, an Indian woman is always giving more importance and priorities to the families first, to their career first, and that is where they go wrong in ensuring that their health matters more, that if they are healthy, the entire family can become more healthy. And I have n number of examples, including my own family also, where I have seen that if a woman of the family decides to change her mental capacity and the fitness levels, it rewards the entire family. It just becomes so contagious in the entire family that it rubs on the husband, it rubs on the children, it rubs on her parents or in-laws as well. So for me, my own example is that when I changed my fitness levels, I could see my husband join the fitness. My children are also into the fitness for themselves, for their better future. My in-laws also improved their health, and they are also healthy at this age of 80 plus. My parents also follow the same techniques, and that gives me so much of confidence. So when I narrate my own journey and my own struggles also to people, it just helps me to get them into a changed mindset. They prioritize themselves first as women and mothers or daughters, and that is where they take this fitness aspect absolutely very seriously. So we start with body weight training, and then we help them also to understand that weight training is absolutely essential for every woman. So as I thought that weightliftings are only for men or for athletic women, I also make it a point that when I speak to women around me, they also change their mindset and they start enjoying this particular aspect of weight training themselves. So they work out with me with kettlebells, they work out with me through therabands, they work out with me with dumbbells also. And every time we explain them the logic or the technique rightly, I can see them competing with themselves in a better manner.
Super, great. Yeah, I mean, if a woman can motivate family members, of course, the other family members can definitely do that. If she's not taking care of her own fitness, then other people's actually lay back. That is for sure. So I'm great that you're doing a great job, and I'm sure your clients and your people around you will help you, and they'll set a very good example in front of you. Wow. When it comes to nutrition program, do you really take any supplements? And like when it comes to kettlebell training especially, this question is basically addressing the fact that you are having problems in the case of breathing. Of course, that problems are not really severe as it was a few years back. But when it comes to supplement, what is your take on that? So even though you are training with kettlebells or not, but like maybe if you can just give a little highlight on that.
Yes. So as I told you earlier that I started my journey not with the exercise but with the nutrition factor itself. So basically I lost almost 30 kgs of weight by using supplementation, and that was Herbalife Nutrition. So it helped me to lose my initial weight, and that just gave me a lot of confidence. I have been on supplementation for the past 5 years, and I have been using a balanced diet structure also. So it's not only supplementation, but n number of habits in my eating pattern has changed. Like I would never go for raw vegetables, salads, greens. The composition of my plate was more full with carbohydrates earlier, which has now essentially changed from simple carbohydrates to complex ones, and more towards proteins and fats also. So it's effectively more of the fuel which you need for your body, which essentially I keep checking on my meal plate, and that is how I keep nurturing myself. So supplementation has absolutely given me a new life altogether, and I believe that if we have the right support, right composition of supplementation which is needed for our active lifestyle, the kind of intensity of workouts we are doing, and if we balance it with the kind of food we are eating, and yet we can nurture ourselves with the Indian delicacies and Indian foods, we can still manage to stay healthy, have a good body composition, and we can keep doing strength training without any factor. And I have tried even going for vegetarian sources of protein effectively when I don't eat non-vegetarian food also, yet it has given me the best of results in maintaining my structure, increasing the muscle content, and showing the strength which I could do in my sport as well.
Great. Great. So that's a really great insight when it comes to takeaway for the people or the viewers who are watching this podcast, or maybe if you're checking out on the YouTube. It's really great that supplement is important. At times, we really can't depend on entirely on the food, and supplement really gives us that extra boost, which is needed. At times, it becomes a very quick, handy thing also, and it suffices all the needs. So that's really great. Do you have any injuries when it comes to kettlebells, pre or post? Like if you had any kind of injuries earlier and kettlebells has healed it up, or maybe when you started kettlebell training, okay, I've come across this injury. So maybe if you can just help us understand that.
Earlier, I was going through a lot of injuries, but then kettlebell actually has helped me to balance the entire weight training without any injuries. And
Okay.
I would like to thank you for your support, because there's a 100% trust factor which I put on the coach, wherein I know that if the technique is wrong, there is 100% going to be injury. And if you have to correct the technique, you have to follow a coach, and you have to be guided very well in terms of the technique perspective. So for me and my husband, who has been helping me a lot in nurturing my techniques also, whenever we get trained under you, the first and foremost perspective for us is that we follow whatever you say in terms of technique, and if that comes right, and then we follow the repetitions and the scores or the personal records which we are building for our own selves, whether it is related to any exercise of plank or bodyweight training, or whether it is related to any other changed aspect for kettlebell, whether it is the one arm long cycle, whether it is the two arm long cycle, whether it is the snatch technique, or it is anything related to simple techniques like swing and clean also. We just follow what you say, and those techniques are basically helping us to